is going on, people? Guess who's back? It's the Tap Out Show. We here. Tell them. All right, man. Yes, we have been on a hiatus for a while. We won't get into the details, but honestly, there was some lackluster events in the meantime. But the last event that we were supposed to come back for and cover was, I believe, 292.
Yes.
Was it? Yeah. So UFC 292 happened. We're going to cover that today. We've been gone since, but we had to come back because this next event, it's fight night, right?
No, this weekend. No, this is 294.
So 294 is, from what I've seen, it's stacked.
It's kind of insane that they had a card set ready to go, and then there were two replacements for the main event and the co-main event, and the card got better. When does that ever happen?
Yeah, almost never. Oh, we also got to cover 293 as well, by the way.
Well, we can definitely do some dry runs over them.
Yeah, we're not going to – this is going to be a streamlined show. There's only, as you can see, there's only two of us today. Our brethren, Mike, is running a 5K because all that guy does is kill shit. So we're going to shout out to Mike, Wu-Tang Tran. Hope he kills it again. Also, I'd like to point out to our lovely fans, if you're an anime fan, Mike finished his last 5K doing the Naruto run, which was epic. It was epic to see. So, yeah, man, how you been?
Hey, not too bad. I'm living. I'm loving, enjoying myself, working, and I'm you know what? I'm a fat guy, so I love the cold season more than the hot season. So I'm not.
Yeah, we're polar bears, man. We do better like this.
Exactly.
So,
and you? How about yourself? You asked me, I get to ask you.
That's fair. I'm doing great. I'm cooling, man. Just enjoying. We're in the throes of like we're starting to really get into the meat of the NFL season. I'm enjoying that. NBA season's come back around. You always gotta. I'm a baseball fan, but you always got to survive that stretch where it's only baseball on.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, in the most recent years, I've gotten more into like MMA and boxing even more than when I was a little younger. So that helps bridge the gap. But still, we're about to get back to the meat of it all when everything's going at once, which I love. So that's time of the year.
Like I told you, man, I think I said this on Wednesday, or maybe it might have been last week at some point. This is the first year in a long, like last year I was a little bit, but this is like the first year I've been hyped and excited and cannot absolutely wait for the NBA season to start.
Yeah, well, of course, as a Suns fan, you should have something to look forward to this year.
Exactly.
And you're right, Dale. Let's fucking go. And absolutely, college football. Shout out to Dale and BS and Beer. I've made a stop by and did a little clip for them at one point. I was gonna be on there today, but I had to do my tap out thing. But we appreciate Dale and our brothers and sister shows that we have across the STWF platform. Man, we got a great team. The other day I was just looking at our whole roster and just looking at all the different podcasts that is, because if you go on YouTube on the computer, you can like lay it out and see it all in one big picture. So to create this thumbnail, I had to scroll down to find the picture again or to find our last show. And I had to scroll there's so much material that STWF is doing right now. It's unbelievable, man. So we got a great team. We only getting bigger.
Covering it all, and shout out to whoever, wink, wink, came up with the parlay perspective, because we were able to spread our wings a little bit to the NHL, and it's great. This is official. We officially cover everything. I can't wait till I get to throw up my first bowling topic when the PBA season gets rolling again.
Jeez, yeah, that's going to be fascinating. Who do you think you are? I am.
Can't forget. It's literally just going to be a bunch of Belmo talk as always, because Jason Belmonte seemingly just can't lose every time he goes out on a freaking lane.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed about bowling. Like, on the pro level, they just become certain guys just dominate like more than any other sport. The only thing close is like Gretzky.
Yeah.
See,
yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I mean, they had times, and the stuff flips, because you had Walter Ray Williams Jr., and then it went to PDW, and Norm Duke was right there going with them. And then you got into the Chris Barnes, and that's when Jason Belmonte broke in. And then a lot of the young bowlers came up right behind him. You have EJ Tackett, his little brother's also up in there. I mean, the land of bowlers is great. And I remember it was an accident. I just happened to be watching as a kid, threw on ESPN on a Sunday at like 12 waiting for something. And the PBA's on, and my favorite bowler of all time is Chris Barnes, Wichita State represent. And it just that's how I fell in love with bowling. I went to the bowling alley with my grandmother when I was a kid, when she lived out in Indiana. And I'm like, I've always wanted to learn how to do this. And got in high school, and I bowled for 3 years in high school. I made the basketball team freshman year. Don't ask me how, being 5'8", 5'9". Somehow made the team. Average. I got 12 minutes on the year. And I was like, look, y'all, this ain't for me. I'm like, I love the sport of basketball, but I
Time
can't
to bowl.
you guys. Yep. I went over to the bowling team and loved it.
Good shit. You had a bowling? That's an interesting high school if you had a bowling team.
Man, we had just about everything.
Had I picked a bowling team in my high school, they'd have fucking threw me out of the front door like Jazzy Jeff.
Hold on. I got you one better. You know what else Roger Bacon had?
What? Hold on, time out. You're going to gloss over that you went to Roger Bacon High School? That's amazing.
Yes, sir. Roger Bacon, good old RB Tech, home of the Spartans. Yes. This is what else they had. You ready for this? I bet you never even heard of this.
This has turned into a parlay perspective. This is hilarious.
Underwater hockey.
We're going to have to – I'm sorry. I just had a stroke for a second. We're going to have to – we're going to move on. We're going to have to cover that in the parlay perspective as a whole topic because I need to dive into that, and we already got a full show. So
you're not going to forget about it.
Yeah, no, I will not forget about that. I actually also just added a topic for the parlay perspective for myself. When I mentioned Gretzky, I decided I'm going to do a topic about the GOATs from each sport and maybe make it into like a little mini bracket fight. Like pick the 2 GOATs from every sport and then bracket fight that out.
Sadly, Jason Belmonte is going to be getting kicked out of that quick.
Unfortunately. Although if you bring enough levity to enough information to it, we can understand how dominant he was, but we'll see.
He brought a lot to the sport. But again, we're here to talk about UFC 292 with you. Will's going to bring up the card. We're not really going to skim over these cards as much because it's been at least 2 months or a month since some of these cards have happened. But some interesting stuff did happen on these cards.
Yeah. Also, by the way, for the fans, that is what you just witnessed for the first 8 minutes of the show is exactly how the parlay perspective was born, because we realized we wanted to talk about other stuff and we couldn't on some of these shows. And so we had to make a show to do it all. Okay, this is the card that I wanted to most cover when it happened because my guy Sean O'Malley. But we'll get to him. We won't do prelims. We'll just do the main card for this one. How about that? Wait, was there anything? Let me look at the prelims right quick. Was there anything interesting? Weidman lost. I remember that. Rodriguez won.
Brad Katona, that was the Ultimate Fighter finale.
Right. So a lot of these weren't all that crazy interesting. I mean, interesting, of course, if you love the sport. But in terms of let's cover this. Oh, this one. Remember this fight? This fight was one that we really cared about.
Yes, it was.
And Ian won, I believe. Yeah. So
Ian Machado Gary absolutely dominated that fight from start to finish. Neil Magny did not look like he belonged whatsoever.
He did not.
Low key banger that you and Mike got on my case about. Marlon Vera and Pedro Munoz. They absolutely tore the house down in the bantamweight division, and Cheeto came out victorious. I love that fight. I could watch those guys fight forever. And Damon Blackshear, I was kind of disappointed that he lost. I think he lost in dominating fashion too, didn't he? Wasn't it a KO?
Yeah, no decision. See, it says it was unanimous decision.
Nah, I thought that was the one that was a KO. I think I'm thinking about they brought up a guy to go against a really good up and comer. Oh, it was Bo Nickel.
Oh,
the
Bo Nickel.
I got fights mixed up. That was an accident.
All right, so yeah, we already. The Cheeto Vera versus Munoz was a great fight, but
it was almost fight of the night until you got to the main event.
Which, honestly, judging by how the main event went, this should have been the fight of the night because the main event wasn't a great fight. I think they were just happy that they're the company's guy won.
Yes,
but we'll get forward. We'll get there. Marlon Vera got a unanimous decision. That was a great fight for him. Great fight in general. They were just whooping each other's asses that whole fight.
And that's the thing. Pedro Munoz goes so under the radar, and I hate it because Pedro Munoz is a vet. He's good. He likes to stand and bang. Vera's the same way. This was a classic strikers fight, and you love to see that in
Yeah.
the UFC.
And Marlon, he had 141 strikes to 113. No one got a takedown. Did they even attempt? I don't think there was even an attempted takedown for either of them.
No. Again, I feel like this is very fitting. You put two savages in the ring and just let them see who could win, and that's what happened.
This was a bar fight. This is what this was. This was go outside, two men arguing over something and just slugging it out in the alley. So good for Vera. Do we know what's next on tap for Vera, or have they?
I'll
click on
That's who Sean O'Malley wants to fight first.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That did come up that he wanted Cheeto next. All right. Well,
and Aljamain was very up in arms about it, saying, "Why does the number 5 guy get to jump up to have a title fight when he beat the number 9 or 10 guy?" I believe is what Munoz was. When the guy, my teammate behind me, Mariv Davishvili, is number 2. I was like, well, why didn't you give him a fight? I understand your training camp partners, but if you want to be champion, you don't care. You split. Why do you think Gilbert Burns had to separate to do his title fight against Kamaru? They used to be teammates. If you want the belt, and that's the name of the game in the sport, is to be the best and be the champ, you don't care who's champ. You're going to go and do it. That's why Mariv's not getting the title fight.
Yeah. Also, like I will always support when someone is big up in their guy and vouching for their guy on their team. I love that. But also, you lost, bruh. So you don't get to dictate where the next fight goes. And in terms of Marlon Vera, maybe in terms of the road or the path he's taken, and maybe in terms of the fact that he's number 5 right now, maybe that says he doesn't deserve it. But also, he's the only one, I believe, with a win over O'Malley.
Yep, that's it.
So that's why he's going to get that fight. Because O'Malley can, for the most part, decide who's going to fight. I mean, not all around like some boxers can, but he can decide. And if he wants that fight first, then do that fight. Mm-hmm. And then any of the other guys will be in line to go ahead and get their chance if he wins.
So what was this card? Here we go. Zhang Wei Li and Amanda. Her name after that fight was changed to Lamos because she was pretty lame the entire fight. Got absolutely destroyed.
This was like
unfair.
You always see those Brazil fighters and you're like, they always stand a chance when they're in the ring. You feel like this was one of those times that was the exception to that rule. So let's look at the strikes.
She was 100% outclassed, man.
It was
100% outclassed.
If you guys can see this, can you see this on the screen?
Hit the control scroll button so I can see a little closer.
Hold on. Let me.
I don't know if you're able to make the image bigger by doing that. That's what I do at work, at least.
I probably could, but I'm just illiterate with the internet.
You're good. So if on your keyboard, press the control button, and then on your mouse, scroll up, and you should be able to enlarge the picture.
Look at you teaching me things live on television.
That's what I have to do at work because I'm blind as a bat.
So, what I wanted to point out was this hilarious stat right here where it's 296 strikes to 29. That is how lopsided that fight was. In case any of you,
day at the office.
That's the day I put my desk and quit is what that is. That's terrible. 6 takedowns. She just manhandled her all across the board. It wasn't close.
She definitely did that to prove a point.
But you want to know what the most impressive thing about this fight was? That somebody got beat like that, and it went the whole 5. She survived. So
I think Zhang Wei Li was just playing with her food.
Yeah, she might have been playing with her food. That's true. Oh no, I don't know if Coach is watching. I doubt he's watching because he's probably breaking stuff in his house right now. Because top nine, Altuve hit a 3-run bomb. So. And they were up, and now I think they're down or tied. I don't think you understand just how bad I freaking hate the Astros. I do not want to see. Yeah, of course I get the update. I don't care about Altuve. I don't care about that damn organization of cheaters ruining the integrity of baseball. But then we get to this main event, and I'll tell you what. I think this is where Aljo messed up. He wanted to go in there and prove that O'Malley wasn't this great striker. He is a great jiu-jitsu guy. He is great on the ground. Aljamain is. Why you would try to strike with the guy that is legit a sniper in the ring is beyond me.
I don't get it. It makes no sense. You overextended on a punch and got caught, and you were out with one punch, and you claim you have a great chin. O'Malley took you out in one punch. He sniped you. You straight up overextended for no reason, trying to reach.
Yeah.
When you have the height, I think he almost had a height advantage or a reach advantage, not a height advantage. And you let O'Malley just come, opening, pop, done. What Leon Edwards say? Kill shot, done.
Yeah, the worst part really was yeah, I've never heard of a high school bowling team. I just saw this deal. Yeah, hilarious, right?
Hey, it's big in Ohio and Indiana.
So yeah, what I yeah, does he have the advantage there on the? I actually want to check that now that you said it. The height. I know he doesn't have height, but he might have the reach advantage. Yeah, maybe he does.
Because I believe O'Malley's 5'11", and I think Aljo is 5'9" or 5'10". Reach, I don't know. I think Aljo had a reach on him by like 2 inches. I don't remember though.
So the real issue with that fight,
are those stats right above? Scoot up just a little bit, a little more. Is that anything, or no? That's just
these are all stats. Yeah, striking is just stats. I'm trying to look for his actual. Oh, okay. Here we go. Reach 72 for him, and go back. Click on Alja.
Excuse me.
You're good to go. 71. No, he didn't have the advantage. Yeah.
So why would you go in there reaching? That didn't make no sense.
Here's the real thing. Why would you go in there at all? To be honest, like his whole approach to this fight was confusing to me.
Would we go a little farther and call it weird instead of confusing?
Weird. I'll go even further and say it was stupid.
Yeah, I'll go with that too. I think I'll go with that. It
was just a bad plan. Like the one advantage you have, you did not even attempt to really do it. I do think he had to get inside. You have to get inside on O'Malley because not just with O'Malley's reach. O'Malley has a 1-inch reach on him, but not just with the reach. O'Malley has that aggressive front kick that he has, and that front kick. If you can't get by that, he will literally keep you at that leg distance all night and then just pick you apart with how fast and how he can counter. That's what he does. And so you do have to get in there on him, but the way he went about it and the aggression that he chose when he finally missed and got rocked, it was a bad plan. The other thing was, if you remember, there were some people stating that they thought they called that early, but
no way.
I don't believe so. Yeah, when he got hit, he was rocked. He definitely had his faculties a little bit like soon after that, but not enough. And also, he wasn't exactly covering. He was kind of sprawled out, and he rolled over quick. But after that, I don't know.
I personally was very up in arms about the Izzy stoppage against Pereira when he was up against the fence because he was still standing. I understand you can be out standing up, but I thought Izzy. He was guarding a little bit, but he was still getting popped. But Aljo straight got dropped on the floor, and O'Malley's just hammer fisting him, standing up, mind you, and just destroying him. To me,
he didn't even get to land too many like hammer fists because he was just honestly it wasn't even a hammer. He was literally dropping straight from the heavens.
And the thing was the one there's one that got through very clean, and Aljo's back of his head bounced off the mat. I'm like. Yeah, no, he's done after that. That was it. That one shot did him in. And then, like I said, everyone was all mad and up in arms about saying that was another early stoppage. I was like, no, he was done. He got knocked down because he was dazed. He was on the floor. You could say that you could say he had fallen over because he had gotten caught and he was overextending.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he made very little attempts to try to roll around, get up. This guy's good at heel hooks. He can grab the heel, knock O'Malley over. And the other thing is, that O'Malley's got a leg problem because that's how he lost to Chito Vera. He broke his leg, his ankle. So why wouldn't you try to chop the tree down from the stump? It didn't make no sense to me. It was a little weird.
So I will, like I said, we both already pointed out that the game plan wasn't great, but I'd also like to point out that part of the reason that the game plan might not have looked great is because O'Malley it doesn't make it easy for you. He keeps you at the distance that he wants you at, and then he starts teeing you up. And he's a great counter puncher as well, which we saw because that's how he dropped him with a nice counter. That was one of the most picture perfect right like crosses counters I've ever seen.
It was perfect.
It just came over and just bow right on the button.
Yeah. Watching it slow motion was awesome.
Oh yeah. The ripple of his face and just like the timing of it. Also, like in slow motion, you get to see the load up, and it looks like it's like, wow, that's a long load up. But when it happened, that shit was not a quick load up.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw it in slow motion, and I saw Aljo overextend, and you saw him look over at O'Malley, the first thing that came to my mind was, and this is when I realized I fucked up. Boom, done.
Yeah. It was at that moment he realized he fucked up.
Yeah.
So I don't think we need to get too much deeper into this card, especially because it's been so far away now. But
can I say one more thing?
Absolutely, please do.
About O'Malley. He is the only fighter I believe that I've watched in the UFC who does not jump. He sits still and stands straight up and looks at his opponent. He stares down his opponent, and he's not doing the jump or the bobble around or anything like that. He's standing there with his fist up, kind of just mimicking you where you walk. He doesn't get caught and he doesn't get thrown behind the cage. He just doesn't do that.
What he's also doing is when he's standing there is he's throwing feint after feint after feint, and he's so quick that his feint, like I think within a couple like within like 30 seconds of that fight, or for like maybe even a little more. Actually, no, within 30 seconds he had already thrown like so many feints, and Aljo started flinching on the feints like heavy, and he's just to get his timing down is tough. I actually look forward to the Chito Vera fight because
I do too.
When he first fought him, it wasn't going his way initially. Now that doesn't mean he was going to lose because O'Malley's a one; he could drop you in one, and he has that ability. So, but he was losing.
I think I absolutely give, and I fully believe now that I think O'Malley's one of the most gifted strikers to ever touch the UFC ring. And I really want to know who's better. And it's very possible because their weight divisions are super close. I want him and Max Holloway to mix it up.
If I'm O'Malley, there is exactly zero incentive to take that fight because that is a trap fight. Max
would need to be champ. Max would need to be champ.
Yeah, because he's not going to give him. Yeah, that's a gatekeeping fight. That guy, you do not want that fight. You don't want because that's the one guy who can take every punch you throw at him.
It'd be a boxing match. No, it's the best boxer in the MMA or in the UFC going against the most gifted striker in the UFC right now.
Yeah,
it's a movable force versus whatever the object part of that
unstoppable force for immovable object. It's it would be I could see that. I could see the anime punch that they did in Creed 2, the Sasuke and they've done it many times, but the Sasuke and Naruto, they both hit each other at the same time. I could see that happening. Those two are actually I talked myself into it. I do want to see it, but I don't think it will happen. All right, so 292 was a great event. You got what you paid for, even if you didn't pay for it. And so I'm happy for O'Malley. I look forward to his next fight. That is my favorite fighter in the UFC.
Fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. He is fun to watch.
I think that we should wait on 293 and go into something about UFC 5.
Okay. Do we have any news stories? We may not need news stories. We got so much to cover. So
no, nothing really new on the UFC 5 part, but I will say that it comes out next week on Tuesday. I sent a picture to Will, and I might have sent it to you one-on-one, or I might have sent it in the parlay, or it might have been in the
okay. I was, you know what? I was looking for a good pic to pull up. I realized you had already sent one.
I wanted that picture up here because I wanted to name one thing, and Will laughed at the picture laughed at what I said after I sent the picture, because I am so happy that I'm not a bandwagon guy. I try my best not to be, even though it looks like it. I am such a huge Jamal Hill fan that I'm happy that UFC 5 gave him his flowers and has him as a top 5 power guy in the game.
Yeah, I can understand.
Now, obviously, Derek Lewis is the top one at 100, which I've never seen a 100 overall rating before in my life in a game, which I thought was neat. But Derek Lewis,
I doubt he's overall 100.
No, he's not. It's just his power.
Yeah, his power. Yeah, and that 100% checks out. That motherfucker he sends people to the shadow realm. So,
but it's Derek Lewis at 1. a character that you get in the game. Mike Tyson's number 2, which I hate that. They were doing the best featherweights in the division, and they have Conor McGregor legacy when he did the cornrows. They have him as number 3. I'm like, that should only be for the current fighters. It shouldn't have the DLC characters in the game. That bugged me a little bit. But Mike Tyson was number 2. I forgot who number 3 and who number 5 were, but Jamal Hill got number 4. Will, when you see the top 5, you tell me what you think about the top 5 that they gave power to in the new video game.
I'm trying to do multiple things at once right now, and they're not working, but I'm going to figure this out. I got you. Hold on. Where did you send the picture to?
I believe it was to the Tap Out group.
Oh, that's why I got the wrong picture up.
I wouldn't have sent that to the parlay.
Yeah, I pulled up the parlay like a dope. All right, let me see. Okay, this is what I want to pull up. No, this. All right, yeah. So that's what he's talking about. We're talking about the top 5 fighters, punch power, and that is them.
Oh, Sergey Pavlovich and who's the bottom one? I can't read it.
Anthony Rumble Johnson, rest in peace.
And
yeah,
that's a perfect one right there.
Yeah, he had it. All right. So, also, I can't believe it. He's laughing because I saw his name now. He has to be. We have a special guest, friend of the show, one of my best friends, and he decided to jump on with us tonight. My man, Fwen, who's
Get out.
Fiyun. What's good, bro?
What is up?
Fiyun?
I can't see myself.
You can't see yourself.
I can't. Oh, there I am.
It sounds like a person.
How do I stop the echo? Like, how can I hear myself? It's so weird.
Huh. We got, my man B-Nuts in the chat too. He's recruiting people to bring with him. Oh man, that's crazy. All right, man.
B-Nuts.
What up, B-Nuts?
Welcome to the Tap Out show.
Yeah. I heard you guys like to tap out.
But Will, so what did you think of that top 5 list? Do you think it fits perfectly?
Yeah, so I can bring it back up. So,
like I said, it wasn't nothing against you. When I saw that you had laughed at me saying Jamal Hill deserved his flowers on that, I'm like, Will, are you trying to say Jamal does not deserve that spot?
No. He can hit with the best of them. So yeah. But this is what we're talking about, Lewis. Talk about the UFC 5 came out and they just ranked the top 5 power punchers, and I thought that was, I thought it was fascinating. That's who they had on the list.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Derek Lewis.
I think Sergey might be. I think that's a little overzealous for how new he is, but I mean the man can punch. I mean any person that's a heavyweight should be on that list, and I think Jamal and Anthony Rumble Johnson being from the light heavyweight division, that's a nice little add-in for it.
Absolutely. That'll be a fun game to come out. We might stream on STWF. Who knows? We'll see.
Can't wait. Tuesday can't come quick enough.
Me just beating up Jake.
All right, that's just me.
I honestly just hate that game. I feel like it's the button combinations. I just can't. I'm just too old for it.
That's how I feel whenever someone takes me down in that game. I'm like, all right, well, I lost. That's it. I can't get up out of that. So
they made
play with your belly button. It's like, come on.
They made the mini game for it last year way too stupid and difficult. You spent more time on the ground trying to move the circle around to make sure you can get up than you could actually doing ground and pound. And then you had to switch your analog stick a certain way to even get to the ground and pound site.
The whole thing.
It was awful. But they revamped it this year, apparently.
We will see when it drops. All right, so anything else we have for news, or we're gonna hop into covering what happened in 293?
If we're doing news still, we can talk about and give our thoughts on the USADA and UFC.
Oh yeah, we should do that. Yeah, you're right. That was a good topic. Yeah, so from what I gather, USADA and the UFC have broken up. Marriage over Conor. And if I'm saying it from the perspective of USADA, I'm sure that their mindset on this was, if we let you get away with this one, you're gonna keep doing it. So we can't do this. We're not gonna do it. In case people don't know the story, Dana wanted to get Conor back in to the UFC quicker than the 6-month grace period that they want before they allow you back in with testing and everything. And they were just like, nah, we're not doing that. And so basically, there's probably a bunch of other minutia that goes with it, but they basically both just said, all right, well, collectively, go fuck yourself. And so now they're broken up. What do you guys think about that? Not all at once.
Rightfully so. The thing is, they came out and said like, "Oh, Dana wasn't being serious," but I mean, they can't know that. So now the spokesperson for the UFC came out and was like, "No, they took it too seriously or whatever." So I just feel like it's kind of weird.
I think when it comes to it, I really want to find out who's going to end up taking the spot because they need some kind of drug testing pool because the Athletic State Commission of Nevada needs you to pass certain tests in order to be able to fight. And that goes for Houston, New York, anywhere that they have a regular fight basis. They need to have drug testing in process so that these guys just can't go in there roided out or have any kind of performance enhancing thing going on. If that was the case, John Jones would, John Jones would go into the cage on coke and destroy somebody.
Yeah, or himself. I'm interested to see how it plays out moving forward with events coming closer or like near future events. Because like, what do they do? Do they just, for now, not fight in Nevada or fight anywhere where you need to be drug tested? Do they just go to Dubai and have a party? Or
they could do that, but if they don't necessarily need USADA,
Luna,
but these states need something or some kind of a drug testing to be happened. Whether Nevada or Houston or anything like that can provide their own and have them be tested the days before the fight or whatever. Or if the UFC finds a new company to hold the testing. It's completely up to them, but I know that these certain cities, like Nevada in particularly, which is where their home base is, you need to pass certain protocols and you need to be able to pass your piss test. And there's no way around it. So if they don't have that, they're not supposed to fight at their home base. They can't fight at what's it called? Where do they fight all the time at? It's where they have the Ultimate Fighter at. I forgot what the place is called.
Oh, I forget what they call it too. I forget the name. So like, for example, do you guys have any idea what happened for 294? Did they all test before they broke up with USADA, or?
I would say so because it's a 6-month thing, and they probably had already passed their screenings and everything beforehand. So which is probably why they're okay up until December. Or even longer. So if this breakup just happened, they're going to be good all the way up until luckily UFC 300 in March.
If they're not clear for 300, that's going to be trouble.
It's going to be awful because it's a home based thing.
Yeah,
they're going to try to take UFC 300 over to Abu Dhabi or somewhere in a separate country. It's not going to fly well for the US fans.
I'll tell you this though, if I'm Bellator and them right now, I'm just thinking, like, what can we do at this particular moment? We may have a sliver or a window of an opportunity to vault ourselves a little higher.
Didn't Bellator get sold?
Yeah. I'd say Bellator because that's just the one that, like, you know the name by. But they got sold to who the hell bought them? Yeah, and they have. So now did they combine the league? Wasn't it to another MMA? PFL about to buy Bellator. Okay, so I was wondering if. So PFL and Bellator, yeah. I mean, they should do something, you know. Maybe try to steal some spotlight if you can. That'd be great if 300 didn't go off well and Bellator slid in and came up with a great event with like some good fighters.
Well, Bellator just had their 300th event.
How are they ahead and no one cares about them?
Because they did. Okay, so Bellator was weird there for a minute because they were doing free things, or they had their Showtime deal.
Oh,
they would have I almost said UFC. They'd have Bellator 228 on Saturday, and then have Bellator 229 on the very next Sunday, or they do them. Here's
so they're
230 one week, and then the very next week would be 231.
So they're one piece. I get it.
Ouch.
All right, so Bellator would do a 2 month. Yeah, okay, 2 months. All right, so. Any other news besides the USADA thing? You want to talk?
Not until we get into the boxing topic.
That's perfect timing for my man Fuen here. Except it's the one event he doesn't give a shit about. Yeah. So Logan Paul and Dylan Danis.
I'm gonna let you guys go wild with this one.
Yeah. You muted yourself, I think.
Yeah. I was trying to see if I can stop the echo.
Oh, how's that working for you?
No. Oh, wait. Maybe? No. It sucks.
Well, I didn't actually get to see this fight. I got to see highlights of this fight.
Yeah.
I was too busy working. But did you actually get to watch the fight, Lewis?
Sadly, yes. It was awful. Just like Dana Danis did not engage at all. Like the worst fight that you can think of times 100, and that's what this ended up being. My dog's barking because it's great.
That's okay. We're cool.
I
We're a
legit
family
watched.
show.
I legit watched it just so I could see Jenna Lynn Meowery at the top of the stage with her card. That was it.
Jake of a fight. Yeah, from what I heard and the things that I saw, yeah, it seemed like Danis knew. I also saw some pressers and some podcasts leading up to that fight where with Logan and with Danis separately, and it just seemed like Danis was more focused on trolling than he was fighting, and it showed when they got in the ring, from what I've heard.
And that's been
Lewis. What
Lewis?
What was it? Didn't it say that Danis only threw like 9 punches? Is that what I heard? Was that correct?
Yeah, all the way up until the 5th round, he had only thrown 5. I don't know if he threw any in the 6th, but it was just awful. He did not come to fight at all. I feel like he just came out to be knocked out and be bears. But that was pretty much it.
Yeah, no. I mean, the most interesting thing he did was throw that mic at Logan's face. That was it.
Yeah.
You got to the fight, he didn't do nothing besides kind of jump around the ring. He'd engage a little bit or go up and hug him. And then you got that dumb shit at the end of the 5th round, and what he did at the end of the fight. It's like, this is ridiculous.
So
then they had some conflict because when he did that stuff in the 5th round, I believe Logan's security got in the ring, and apparently that's an automatic disqualification, and it didn't get called.
Hold on, he said this is Timmy D from the P. Let me find out. My guy in here. That's what's up. Yeah, also, I kind of called. I don't know if you remember, Lewis. I kind of called. He's probably going to get DQ'd. I called that before the fight, and that's because he was literally talking about it on podcasts.
My only issue with that is that it happened in the last 10 seconds, and those last 10 seconds, like, there were 30 seconds. That was not 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And he didn't get disqualified until the very end of it. And it's like, it just seemed like it was planned. It was just weird all around.
Yeah, from what from what I was hearing on him talk about on different podcasts and interviews, he was basically saying, like, he was making a joke like what is Logan gonna do if I put him in a headlock? And the host was like, well, you can't. It's a boxing match. He was like, why do I care about that? Because you'll lose. He was like, and he's like, what is he gonna do? I was like, all right, well, you don't understand how boxing works apparently, because it's a no-go. So yeah, he's a clown. I think we all knew that. You know what was the big win for that event? That he showed up, because he is routinely the guy who will pull out of a fight, not show up at all. And so, yeah, he showed up with antics.
Honestly, just hurt like the whole influencer boxing scene, because that fight was awful. Yeah. The main event was awful, and everyone else just came from that just talking mess about it. No one liked the event at all, and I don't know how they go from this going forward.
So the real question is, I know for you, Lewis, as a boxing fan, it's already, the ship has sailed already. Maybe from like fight 2, but how many more? Like, how much are we done with it as a culture, as a group of people watching these fights? Are we done? You think we're not done with this?
I think that did 1.2 million pay-per-view buys.
Fuck.
And then you have the Jake events coming up, but the Jake events are always going to be good. And he has an event coming up in December, if I'm not mistaken. But they're still gonna wait to announce who they're gonna fight. Also, that's what
no,
it's really messy.
I don't know if it was made official or not, but I thought I heard that it was confirmed to be Jorge.
Jorge who?
It's very heavily speculated. It's gonna be Jorge Masvidal.
Oh, that'd be interesting. He's not a boxer, but I do feel like he could maybe land one. But
Jake and one, these UFC guys have no reason to step into. Have no reason to step into the ring.
Man, that echo's really killing you, huh? Yeah, so yeah, another fight that was supposed to happen possibly was supposed to be Jake and KSI, except KSI lost his And then it kind of just Jake's like, why bother? I guess you could fight Fury again. No one wants to see that.
No, because that fight between KSI and Fury were awful. I mean, it was terrible. And then afterwards, KSI is all upset and pissed off. He was hitting me in the back of the head the whole fight. Excuse me, I didn't mean to burp. And just he was just popping off for no reason. It's like, dude, you lost. The event sucked. It was a fail. I'm kind of with you, Will, at this point. I think that this YouTube boxing thing is just it's done. It's weird. It's over with. No one's getting entertained by it. The very first time you tried to do this, it might have been the one with the Ben Askren fight or the second one with Woodley. They had the concert going on the entire time. I'm like, am I watching boxing or am I watching a live concert?
They really mean it. It's an event. It's not just like a boxing thing. But also, I told you, I've said this for like the last couple shows. I think the only fight, I mean, obviously they're still doing numbers, which I'm doing my part by pirating. I'm doing my best to not get them the views, but they're getting them anyway. But I do think soon enough this could run its course. You're running out of guys that we care if he fights. And I think it's going to get to a point where I've said this routinely. The best fight for the Logan brothers left in this little trial or whatever they're doing is themselves. I think I'd rather see Jake versus Logan than Jake versus anyone or Logan versus anyone at this point. So we will see how that plays out.
That's about it for the news, though.
I mean, if he has anything newsy word. Oh, no, we got some any good boxing coming up? Yeah.
Next week, Fury versus Ngannou. And the thing is, I'm gonna take these off because oh my god, I get on my own head when I hear my own voice and I just cannot see clearly. Those events are not gonna stop. They're selling way too well. Even if you think that Logan's can only, the Paul brothers can fight each other. Yeah. As long as the UFC will keep coming up, like those, they're gonna keep selling like that because kids are gonna be watching it mainly and other influencers. And that one's more than the Canelo fight, the Tank fight, Errol Spence fight. I don't want to see all of them together. We're pretty close.
Jeez. That's a sad state.
Obviously, we have the Haney fight that's coming up versus Prograis. We're saying he's Dustin Stevenson, which is, that's a really dangerous fight for Haney to take. The Ngannou versus Fury fights. Catterall versus Leonidas tomorrow, which is not going to be a bad fight, but Catterall's going to probably knock out within a couple of rounds.
Is that Ngannou and Fury fight? Is that a? Can you hear me?
You can't.
I have to really take a look at it.
Me.
Benavidez versus Gowan, which Benavidez in 6. That's going to be one that Josh is going to be hurt by the result of that fight.
Is that Fury and Ngannou fight? Is that just an exhibition?
Yeah.
Okay, because they said that he does have a title defense coming up. I just forgot who it was against.
Usyk. Now that would be a really good fight. Usyk is going for undisputed. Well, technically they both are, I guess. He's way smaller height-wise and weight-wise.
Yeah.
He's a former cruiserweight who moved up to heavyweight. And he's giving these guys like 30, 40, 50 pounds advantage, and he's still beating them. And I don't know how he's going to handle just Fury just clinging on to him, putting all that weight on him, especially because he's a lot smaller. And that's going to be very interesting. And then also Stevenson versus Dos Santos, that's going to be really good as well. People just think Dos Santos isn't good, but he's really good.
Yeah, I think he's going to pick Ngannou apart because he's just not.
There's going to be any risk. I don't think is it like the Tyson fight whenever they couldn't knock each other out. I don't know if that's one of the rules in it, but if that's the case, then it's kind of like, why are we watching? We can just wait until the December matchup versus Usyk.
Yeah, wait, I thought that was like just rumor. They're really doing a no knockout thing?
The no knockout part, I don't know, but in terms of it just being like an exhibition, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. That part is true. Now, if they're not allowing knockouts, that just makes the whole thing a joke.
Then what the hell are we even doing? If they're not allowing knockouts, what are we even doing? Because why would anybody care about anything Ngannou does if he's not throwing a bomb? Like that's all.
That's legit. The only reason that I'd want to see that fight is because you're getting Ngannou, who is a super powerful human being, going against Tyson Fury, who has power, but nowhere near the amount of power that Wilder had. I'd even go as far as saying Joshua might have more power than him. I'm not saying Fury's weak because he's the reason I even got into boxing was to watch him in those 3 fights against Wilder. But he's strong himself, and he can definitely pick you apart with his jabs. But if there's no knockout, I'm with Flynn on this. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, all said.
But if there is a knockout, heavyweight boxers are not the most skilled division. So I think there is a chance if Wilder can catch him, and obviously Wilder's way better than Ngannou, even though he's not the most technical boxer. I feel like Ngannou can catch him just randomly, just like what, here it is. And since Ngannou is also just a straightforward machine, I feel like he's gonna leave it all in round one. He's either gonna get knocked out or he's gonna knock him out.
See, and by the way, funny enough, I got into boxing because of that fight, but I went into that fight rooting for Wilder, and I came out a Fury fan.
Yeah. And like 20 minutes after, I became even less of a fucking Bronze Bomber fan because all he did was make excuses.
Yeah, there's nothing but excuses. I think that's why I disliked him. But I think the one that got me the most, because I believe from what I saw, correct me if I'm wrong at any point, didn't Usyk kind of dominate Anthony Joshua? Wasn't that one that he fought? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to think Anthony Joshua isn't as good as he is because he lost to an out-of-shape Andy Ruiz, who ended up getting fatter after his title fight and then losing it again, but losing weight. I think Andy Ruiz could beat Anthony Joshua again if they got paired up.
Maybe. Is Ruiz taking boxing serious again, or is he just partying once again?
He lost a ton of weight, but I don't know if he's taking it serious now.
Well,
he kind of had one claim to fame, and then he went away.
It'd be really weird to lose all that weight and not be taking it seriously because he's a fat man.
Yeah, it was a claim to fame type of thing. The issue with the Joshua versus what the fuck is his name? Reese. The first match was on a week's notice, and Joshua played with fire. He's like, I'm gonna bang with him, and he got caught a lot, and that ruined him mentally. The second fight, Joshua just said, you know what? No, I'm a better boxer than you. I'm just gonna jab you apart. I'm gonna keep my distance, and that's how he's gonna approach it again in the trilogy. I don't think he's gonna go in there and bang with him again.
Some of my favorite
take the fight a little smarter.
Some of my favorite Fury highlights are just him against the ropes, rope-a-doping, and making you miss every single shot. With that ability, I just don't know how Ngannou can land anything, not being a true boxer. I just don't. Yeah. So
he's got his weaving down in his head motion pretty well. Fury does. The only thing that that gets me with him every now and again is that he does not have pillow hands. I'm not falling into that trap of people saying he does not have power. He absolutely has power. He was able to knock down and bust the eardrum open of Wilder. And I'm like, he's got power. He's in the heavyweight division. The heavyweights have power. It's just I think that going against a smaller guy like Usyk coming up, I think that Usyk can just outspeed him. He can get away from his punches. He can duck and weave through the length that he's going to have off. And I think he can come up with a mean uppercut on a 6'9" Fury because I think he can reach it. And it's going to be a tough fight strictly off of height because, you know how serious I am with height, especially in MMA. I take the same outlook on boxing, which is why I thought, an Anthony Joshua 6'6" would be good against him. I would think a Bronze Bomber at 6'7" would be good against him. But obviously these short guys don't know what to do with them. So maybe if you get a Usyk, who I believe is like a 6'2", 6'3" against them, it could be a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I just think Fury is way too skilled of a boxer to lose to Ngannou. I know you got the one punch. And I know one punch guys, I understand you always got a chance, but it's a one punch guy who isn't used to this format at all.
100% agree.
All right. So, yeah, man, we're covering some stuff. We're actually we're going to let Lewis work on his audio situation. And while we do that, we're actually going to take a quick break. Just bang out a commercial. You know what I'm going to do. Yeah. Is that a donut?
No, it is not a donut. It is a jalapeno cheese bread.
Well, now you know what he's going to be doing during the break. But you know what? I mentioned donuts because bad timing. I can't even find it. Hold on. Yeah, we try. Or I try anyway. Where the hell is this commercial? Anyways, we will be back in a few. You know what? I'm going to run whatever because I can't find it now. No, I want to get my guy Jay's Donuts done. Oh yeah, let me add my man Lewis back right quick while I look for this. I should have had this pulled up already. I am failing.
I really hate this background noise.
Yeah, that's really weird that it's doing that.
I'd have to take a look at my audio interface, but I don't think there's something on there. Otherwise, it would do it for Discord, Facebook, everything else.
You want to, if you want to step out and try to figure it out, if it's bothering you that much, by all means, go for it.
Nah.
He said, nah, we'll just deal with it. Also, this is a good little warm up for me and Lewis. Will be soon doing some podcasting. But yeah, I can't.
I'm jealous.
Oh, there's no need to be jealous. You can swing through. You know that. We're gonna be doing mostly boxing. We're gonna branch out and do some other stuff. But,
I was about to say it's gonna be FIFA talk. I don't know nothing about soccer.
Oh no, that was racist. Why do you think it's FIFA talk? Because he played. No, I'm kidding.
No, I think it's FIFA talk because that's all you ever tell me that you and him do.
It is true. Me and him literally play FIFA constantly. All right, so I'm just gonna run a commercial now because I'm tired of looking for this and I can't find it. I know it's looking dead in my face, but anyways, we'll be right back. Appreciate y'all. Stay tuned.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Darwin Price, man, Graham Sound. I want to give a big shout out to STWF Media, the big brand. You know what I'm saying? Where you can talk sports with NFL players and all type of fans, man. Go follow them on Facebook community. The big brand, STF Media, man. Shout out to them. Thank you for the support. Go follow them, Facebook, everywhere.
And we're back. Okay.
I would hate to be the bearer of bad news to any Rangers fan out there. The Stros have won 5-4.
Oh. Hey, man. If y'all friends or family of Coach Lee, reach out. My man's in a bad way right now. He's gotta be. So you want to get into 93? 293? Jake? Jake? All right.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, let's rock it.
All right, 293. Pulling it up. This was a shocking event at the end. I'm sure you'll know why the minute you see it. But yeah, let's you want to do just, let me look at these early ones. Were there any? I can't remember if there's any great early fights. I don't think there was. There were some okay ones, but from what I remember, this card wasn't as good as it was expected.
No, that was it. The only one that was worth looking at or even saying anything about was Carlos Holberg.
All right, well, let's just go over the main card. And
the top three matches are the only ones worth really talking about.
All right, then we'll just do the top three. We'll go.
Because if anyone watched it, watched that freaking presser, Manel Cape, that man, he was freaking livid and throwing water bottles.
Yeah, he was talking tough.
The man was heated because Kai Kara France is a little bitch. I hate him. I hate Izzy's whole fucking team except for Volk, I think. That pissed me off, dude. I mean, it's his ballless coach. This dude, I cannot stand. What the hell's this man's name? Eugene Behrman. He's such a hoe. I hate him. He freaking says and he yells at people and tells them all the time. He did it to Drakus Duplessis. He says, "You want the title fight? You show up injured and you fight. You blah blah blah." Well, where's your bitch ass fighter? He freaking pulled out because of injury. You look like an asshole now. Pissed me off.
I mean, an injury is a legitimate reason to.
It is, but the thing was, Drakus had gone hard for 3 straight fights against top tier talent, and it just went into war with Robert Whittaker. Mm-hmm. And then he is banged up, and he went straight 3 times this year already. And you want him to take up that fight? Yeah, he would have went against Adesanya. Would he have had the same outcome that Sean Strickland had? We don't know, and we never will know. But the thing was, he didn't take it. Sean Strickland took it. His guy got beat still. But you also said if you want this opportunity and you want these fights, you got to go out there and you got to fight. And you got Kai Kara France sitting there looking normal, no braces, no nothing. If it was a concussion, he shouldn't be under them bright lights. He's still there making his dumb faces, doing the freaking New Zealand thing and all the tongue out and all that. You bitched out. Manel Cobb is a future dominant flyweight guy, which is really hard to say about the flyweight division. But this dude's a former long-term champion in the previous promotion. This guy's the real deal, and you could expect him. I personally would. I'm going to go out on a whim and say it. I think he's going to be flyweight champion by the end of 2024. Hot ass take, I know, but I just see it being that way.
Yeah. Hold on just a second. Yeah, so Tafa over Lane. Speak on that.
This was a rematch because the first fight ended in 39 seconds because of an accidental eye poke. This one was finally getting run back. Austin Lane is a former NFL football player and gone pro. It was supposed to be a really nice match, and I believe this fight ended in round 1, didn't it, by a knockout?
Yeah, this was a...
Justin Tafa kind of just said, I'm going to put all the sleepers to bed, and he's going to...
Yeah. Tafa, man, look. Tafa got the mitts, and he showed it. That, like, when you look at Lane, like, I get it. He's not really... He was a ex-football player. So because of that, he looks like a physical specimen. He looks like MMA's Anthony Joshua almost. Like, he's just... He's built really well, and you're like, all right, a guy like that. He doesn't have the skill in the sport yet. It's gonna take a while, if at all, because he's older. He is a more in shape Greg Hardy. Yeah, and honestly, Greg Hardy had a level of aggression to him that fed well to the sport, so he did look good at times, but also his dedication, and then
hello? I think I fixed it. Oh, hey.
Does it work?
Hell yeah.
He even sound better, honestly.
Yeah, he does. No, I think Greg Hardy's downfall was when he got absolutely destroyed by Tai Tuivasa.
Yeah. Tui does that to you. Tui with the shoeies.
Speaking of Tui.
Say what again?
This is the last event, right?
This is 293. We're covering 293 because we haven't done a show in a while, so we're just going over some of the previous fights that we missed.
Speaking of Chewy, though, Chewy lost at this event.
Yeah, Tui did lose at this event.
He's the next fight up.
Oh wait, yeah, up here. Oh yeah, I'm not on the page, so I can't. I'm trying to scroll up from the main page. It's not working. Are we gonna do the?
We already talked about it.
Okay, and then Tui and Volkov. Yeah, he got him in submission. Tui wasn't doing much for most of that fight anyway. I want to check the stats and see even more about what was really happening.
You know what's wild?
Total strikes, he wasn't landing anything.
No.
107.
There's a big reach advantage here though, because I'm pretty sure Tuivasa is only like 6'2", and Volkov he's freaking 6'7".
Yeah.
You know what's crazy, Will? I just realized we did take a hiatus from the tap out, but we covered 293.
How do we do that?
We did because you and Mike both laughed at me when I took Strickland.
Oh no, we covered. So we did like a little preview. We didn't do. I don't think we did it. Did we do the whole show?
Recap? We did not do a recap.
No, so we didn't do a recap. All right. Yeah. So we did cover this going in. But we didn't recap it, and yeah. So
definitely not the way I saw the fight going.
No, not. We knew that he had the ability to tap him out. Tui isn't. He's a big guy. So, but if you can get him with the right leverage, you get him down pretty easy. He's not a great takedown defender. But I think, anytime you see Tui's in that category, anytime he's in the ring, you're just hoping he smashes. Like he's going to catch somebody with one. And he didn't. He took the loss. But the real reason we're covering this.
The shock of the year.
Yeah.
But I will say, because I got tired of being wrong about underdogs winning, I took Strickland this time, and you and Mike both just laughed in my face.
Wait, did you actually take Strick?
Yes, I did.
I remember that.
Nice.
There we go. My guy.
And I'd laugh at you again if you did it again. But what? But the reason, like, the best thing that I saw about this fight was it was just a matchup nightmare in the sense of Strickland really. He basically Philly shells, and you can't hit this man. Allegedly, from what I hear from people like just other podcasts and information that I get about Strickland is he spars more than anyone against high-level guys too, and barely gets hit even in the sparring. You can't hit the guy. And I think Izzy was taking the approach of I'm gonna try to like do my thing where I try to pick him apart slowly and just win by points. But how do you win by points when you can't hit a man? And he couldn't, even the great Izzy could not get any clean, like real clean shots on him. And not just he couldn't hit him, he started getting tagged up. Strickland was not playing. Strickland doesn't have the most power, but you just can't keep getting punched in the face. And I think people got mad that Izzy didn't get aggressive towards the end. It's like, yo, it's over, bro. You're not gonna knock that guy out the way he's been fighting. And you were already losing, and Izzy kind of just threw in the towel for himself without actually doing it.
Izzy lost the way that he beats his opponents.
Yeah.
Izzy walks people down and keeps them against the cage. What did Sean Strickland do that whole fight?
The whole fight.
Walked him down and did not let him get off of the cage. I couldn't believe what I was watching. When I saw after the first round and I saw what he was doing the second round, I'm like, is he really doing this right now? Who is that?
I think you enjoy the torture, Jake. That's funny.
Who is it?
I believe that's still Tim, unless someone else hopped in also as a Facebook user. It's funny. I never want to get people away from going on Facebook, but I can never see who it is when it's on Facebook. So if you go through YouTube, I can see it. I guess I could stop being a bum and just load up YouTube, and I can then see who it's saying. I mean, load up Facebook and see who it is. But
no, I think it was crazy. Lewis, did you get to see this fight?
I did. I was not expecting this. I bet on Izzy by KO, I think. I don't remember, to be honest with you, but I lost a lot. I bet on Tuivasa and lost that one as well. He was training with Pereira, and it showed. He kind of just knew everything that was coming his way. Izzy had nothing for him. And now Izzy's going to take a long break. And, what's up? What's next for him? When is his next fight going to be? Is it going to be in 2024? Is it going to wait to 2025? This could be just the beginning of the end of his career now.
It could be.
Which seems like such like a ridiculous claim from where he just came from. But you got to realize he also, what is he, 1-2 in his last 3 fights? Because he lost.
Yeah, he lost to Alex, and then he won his belt back and then lost to Sean.
Yeah, so, and he even said he's going to take some time.
Yeah, and I think that with him being 34, I think only a year break would be good for him. Because you got to think, he's been going hard. I was talking about this in the parlay, that he's been going hard since 2017. He's had multiple 5-round fights, multiple main event fights at the same level of competition that he's been fighting. Eventually, you're going to need a break, especially going 5 full rounds, because that's what he's doing. He's not knocking people out. He's not submitting people. He is going 5 full rounds and winning by decisions. That's his thing. So, of course, this is going to happen. He's going to slow down eventually. The age is going to kick in. The wear and tear is going to go. I think a year break's good for him since he's taking time off. And end of the year 2024 and early 2025 is good for him. But you got to remember, this guy's 34. Some fighters get better with age, some don't. And you also got to think as a weight change coming too, but he didn't do very well at the light heavyweight division. Yeah. But what's he gonna do? What if Kamaru happens to beat Khamzat Chimaev tomorrow, and Usman gets a chance at the belt against Strickland and he wins the belt? Is he going to come back and fight one of his friends? I don't know how this goes.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing about what happens when he does come back. Is he going to have to take a warm-up? Is he going to have to fight somebody, one of the contenders, before he gets the shot right away? Was there a rematch clause in this?
I don't think UFC has that.
Yeah, so I'm interested on how this plays out moving forward.
I think he's going to wait to see how Pereira does. And then if he wins the title, he's going to move up to face him. And then regarding if he wins or lose, he might retire after that, to be honest with you.
So you can have a 2 division under his name. That wouldn't be bad.
That's if
This
this is how
division's
it
gonna be
plays.
tough, especially with Driku's still waiting in the wing. Like,
Yeah,
there's no guarantee he ever wins his title back at the division.
that's true.
Will, you thought that this was a nightmare matchup for Adesanya. I feel like I'm just kind of throwing a random name out there, but this guy is currently or just dropped the light heavyweight title. Do you think Jamal Hill is a nightmare matchup for Adesanya as well?
I don't think Jamal has the level of defense that Strickland had. I think most guys Izzy can figure out, or unless it's not, if it's not like a physical like mismatch like it was when he moved up. If it's just like a guy on his level, I think he can figure most guys out. But the Strickland thing, he just had no answer for that. I don't know about Hill. What do you think, Del Lewis?
I think Hill just completely obliterates him.
Really?
I give it like 2 rounds max. I don't see Adesanya going further than that. Hill's a monster, man.
Jamal Hill is one of my favorite fighters today now. I love that guy.
He's a beast for sure. I just was wondering if maybe, like I said, I just feel certain matchups are definitely kryptonite for Izzy. Like a really amazing kickboxer, which was Pereira, and then a guy like Strickland if you defend. But I think like Hill's like a knockout guy from his power. Correct or no?
Power guy, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen him take care of guys something like that before, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe he'll beat him
He
down.
completely destroyed Glover when they fought.
I was really worried about.
That's true.
I was really worried about Jamal Hill after Paul Craig absolutely destroyed his arm. But seeing how he came back and got that title fight and won the belt, I'm happy for him. But now I'm really upset because he went out and I think he ruptured his Achilles, didn't he? I think it was his Achilles. If not, it was a knee injury. But I hope he comes back strong and he gets the first title fight. If Adesanya needs a warm-up fight at light heavyweight division, if he does move up, I think Alexander Rakic is the perfect opponent for him.
Rakic is the one who lost or tied. What's his name? Jan, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jan
Blachowicz.
Yeah.
Jan Blachowicz, yeah. Well, so yeah. I hope you folks out there caught this fight. It was a great fight to watch. It was seeing basically one of the greatest we've ever seen do it, and Izzy not have any answers for what was happening to him in that ring. With that said, I think now we're going to move into our main event.
Taters.
Yeah, our main event, which is the preview of tomorrow night's UFC. Not tomorrow night, Saturday night's UFC 294. So let me pull this up for you folks.
And to be a little bit more
Tomorrow
correct.
Saturday? Oh yeah, I'm
be a little bit more correct, and I don't really know where Lewis is located, but it is the main card starts at 2 p.m. EST.
Yeah, Eastern Standard. Yeah, that's rough.
Hopefully so it's going to be afternoon. I'm going to hopefully get no spoilers. No one tell me what's going on. I don't want to hear nothing. I'm going to go home, go to bed after my D&D session, and I'm going to go to bed and find somewhere to watch this.
Don't tell Fwen that. He'll ruin it on purpose.
Don't do it. Are we actually going over this entire card, or are we just doing the main card since we've covered a lot tonight?
Yeah, let me just I just want to look at the names, see if there's anybody like any one of these fights that
I think that dude right there, the weird looking guy there at the bottom left, he's fighting with one eye. He's Bispinging it.
Wow. Another mega meta of like these guys. All right. Some of these fights. Who is Cedricus Dumas?
Yeah, that was a fight that was supposed to be on the last event, but it got canceled for some reason. I forgot why, and it's got re-put for this event.
Yeah, this is the.
I heard the Tim Elliott fight is going to be really good.
Tim Elliott. Okay, is this the Russian heavy card?
Yes, that guy right there, that flyweight that they're talking about. That guy is a very nice up-and-comer. I think it's going to be between him and Manel Kape, who end up getting the flyweight belt around their waist next year.
All right, so we'll just cover the main card of it since we got a lot going on today.
Well, we got the Habib, but now we got the Sid.
So it's Saeed Nurmagomedov.
Just another Dagestani freaking wrestler.
Versus Muin Gafurov.
I don't know much about either fighter, but I'm taking Nurmagomedov.
We can take a look at their records. We got at 17-3 versus 18-5. They both lost their last fight. No real reach advantage, just 0.5 and not 2-inch reach advantage, about the 0.5 leg reach. I also as well do not know a bunch about either of these fighters. I know Nurmagomedov. Yeah, well, I've seen a few of his fights also, but I don't know. I didn't get a good read on him in terms of how good he is overall. But you got anything, Lewis? Who do you think is going to win this?
I have nothing. I don't know who these guys are. Are they even signed to the UFC at this point? Like,
exactly right. It's hilarious.
Thought they just signed on one 10-day contract.
It's crazy how many people. Didn't we hear there was like 400 people on their roster? Why?
You got to fill up the card somehow.
Create a G League. I don't know. Do something.
I am, by the way, just so you guys know what my picks are, I'm doing a $5 parlay on it.
Uh-oh.
So I'm doing Ced for my first pick, which, by the way, is going to be losing me money because he is the favorite in this fight. But I am taking 3 underdogs, and you will know who they are.
All right, we're going to move on from that fight and go to this one. So we got Alves versus Aliskerov. Alves favored. Tail of the tape. Hey, go to the. Oh, they don't even. Okay, I'm about to say they don't.
Click the thing, Will. Click the thing.
I'm clicking the thing. It wouldn't work. Okay.
Wrong fight.
Of course it is, because that's what I do. Oh, so this one. No, I was right. This one won't do it.
Oh,
they're not giving you the tail of this tape.
This is the other fight I'm taking the favorite on.
Look at you picking favorites. So you're taking Alves?
Yes, sir. I don't know either of them, but I got to take the 2 favorites on the ones I don't know. Now, I'm going to take that shitty bourbon and take Johnny Walker in this fight. Johnny Walker is on a tear. I understand that Ankalaev is an absolute monster and a stud. His wrestling's crazy, and for a light heavyweight, he can stand and bang with the best of them. He made Anthony Smith, one of my favorite fighters right now in that division, look really dumb. And also absolutely destroyed his ankle, by the way. Get it? Ankalaev destroying ankles.
Oh, yeah, you're just a dad joke away.
Leave me alone. Anyway, I'm taking Johnny Walker because he's got a nice little height differential, I believe. I think he's like 6'5", 6'6", and he's
You're
against
obsessed
6'3".
with height. You're obsessed with height. It's hilarious.
And Johnny Walker's kind of on his game now. He did his losses. He had his fun time about being the next rising star in the UFC. Then he had a fall from grace, and now I think he's focused. And he's going to make a serious push at the title, and I think this is his way to get into the top 3 of the ranking.
Ankalaev has no submissions.
Wasn't Walker right now? Like, if you bet on him, isn't he like a plus 700?
Is he really?
Like, that's a bet you take. But I have Ankalaev. He looked really good even in the Jan fight whenever he hurt himself.
Yeah, they didn't put the odds here.
You can see the odds on DraftKings and or on ESPN, but I do know that he is an underdog in this.
Next, we have Kamaru Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev.
And you guys already know what I said. I am taking the underdog here. Chimaev. I love Usman.
But it's really that you hate Chimaev.
And I really, really hate Khamzat Chimaev.
He just loves, the nicknames and
he's not a likable guy.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah.
He
in the ring he is, but
this dude is annoying because he talks shit so low into the mic so you can't hear what he's saying. And Usman's over here like, what's he even saying? He's looking over at Islam saying, what's he saying? Tell me what he's saying. Because he's trying to talk shit, but he doesn't want the smoke. You don't want Usman. This guy has more weight. He's going to be fighting bigger. And I think that he's got better wrestling than Gilbert Burns did. I think he's got better striking than Gilbert Burns did. And Khamzat Chimaev barely beat Gilbert Burns. I thought Gilbert Burns won that fight. You get Kamaru in there, who is a designated wrestler, and he says Dagestani wrestling's better than the American wrestling. How about you shut up? I'm taking the underdog. Give me Usman.
I think it's fascinating that a former champion and guy who ran through division is the underdog here.
You got to remember, though, that this is on a short notice fight.
Okay, that's fair.
Usman took Paulo Costa's spot, who is absolutely going to get thrashed in the fight, in my opinion, because Costa is overrated. He sucks. Usman instantly puts a massive star power onto this card, along with the other guy that stepped up for Charles Oliveira. These two fights right here, and even including the Johnny Walker and Ankalaev fight, those three fights made this card a must-see card, in my opinion. And I think Usman, he's got the advantage on Chimaev, and again, there's a lot of hate that goes towards Chimaev from me that I don't like. I just think I don't like him. He hasn't really fought anybody except for Burns, and he barely got by it. He's going to have to go through a former champion who, like you said, pretty much trained an entire division, and now he's leaving it for broke, even though he lost to Leon Rocky Edwards. But he got hit with a head kick. He had some knee problems. He went out and got his knee problems fixed, and he's starting fresh at a higher division because he's getting older. It makes sense.
Yeah, I think that head kick had more to do with it than that knee problem.
I mean,
Shadow Realm.
we're talking about Khamzat's like record of who he's faced as far as like top 15 welters. He has a better list other than Usman, obviously, or he has a list versus like a Colby Covington who has no one on the roster.
Honestly, matter of fact, just for shits and giggles, I want to pull that up, which you said earlier.
But with that, adding the video of Usman's knee popping whenever he was taking, who was it, Gaethje to the ground?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Khamzat's going to run through him. I can't see him winning because the striking is a lot better on Usman's side. I feel like his age, moving up in weight, his knees, and he didn't really look spectacular in any of the fights. Well, he did look spectacular in the first fight versus Leon Edwards, but the second fight, it wasn't that good. I
thought the fight that he had against Colby Covington, he looked really good, and that's where his striking finally looked like it had improved. By the way,
during that fight,
don't act like you don't know who this is.
This
is the man, the myth, the legend, the
augmented. See, that's why Andrade is getting knocked out by Benavidez. That's because of that.
His man Andrade. Yeah, man. My man Lewis showed up. What up, Tuke? Appreciate you.
You can tell this is the dogs.
Yeah. Let me I wanted to pull this up right quick because I thought this was
it's a graphic that I sent to earlier.
Hilarious. From and I'll try to make it bigger if I can. Let me see here.
That's what she said.
Yeah. To you, apparently. No,
you gotta click the little microscope thingy. There you go, Will.
Look at me learn. He's learning.
Did you learn? Oh, wait, you got a plus option this time. You didn't have to control scroll.
Yeah, no. So, can y'all see this clearly? I can't see what y'all seeing. Can y'all see it?
I'm good. I can see it.
All right. So, yeah, these are just some of the guys that each. It basically, this is all one division, correct? Yeah, it has to be. They all fight.
Yeah, those are the top welters and who they faced as far as like the other top welters.
I pulled this up just for this hilarity right here. Colby Covington with nobody.
Hey, was this fight against Costa originally supposed to be in the welterweight division, or is that a middleweight fight? Because I thought Costa was a middleweight.
Middleweight fight.
Fascinating. All right, well, I just thought that was funny having Colby have no one on his list. It's a bad look, bro. Get your shit together.
Colby's a piece of shit.
Yeah, not a good fighter, not a good guy from what we hear. All right, so let's get back to the main event. Oh, yeah, the main event of this fight, which is I want Volk to win this. I don't know if he's gonna. My man had to drop 25 pounds in 11 days. He got it done though. He dropped it. Actually, he dropped it. He got 0.5 under. He got a half a pound under. So, but that's got to weigh on him.
Volk is the kind of guy though that can drop weight like that and it really not affect him that bad because he rehydrates outstandingly.
Yeah, but
and you got to remember he's going up a weight class, so dropping. He doesn't have to go to 145. He has to go to 155. So he's got an extra 10 pounds to relax on. He was cool. I think he was fine. Me personally, I don't know where you two will go with this, but me, again, I'm going underdog. This is where I'm making most of my money off of that $5 bill, is I'm taking Volkanovski in this because I do think, and I truly believe Volkanovski won that first meeting. He dropped him. I think he did better on the ground all the statistics that you could see from that previous fight, the Volkanovski won, but for whatever reason, unless the champ is losing definitively and it goes to decision, they're not going to move the belt. And I think Volkanovski's going to pick him apart this time because I think you're going against a guy that you've already gone against and you have film on and you know how he fights in the ring. And Islam is not a striker. I think Volk has an idea of what he wants to do now, and with the what to do's and the what not to do's. He's not going to knock him out. He's not going to submit him. Volk's another one of those guys from the Eugene Barrymore camp that for whatever reason loves to go 5 rounds with every fight that he does. I think he's going to beat him up for 5 rounds. And I know that's an unpopular opinion because everyone thinks Islam's the next Khabib, but he's not.
No, I mean, for starters, he's already lost once, so that ship sailed. But
funny enough, it was his very first fight.
I know. It's fascinating. Yeah, he's got the height advantage, not a reach advantage, though. Fascinating. And not a weight advantage. This is a little tank here, Volk. He's a fucking tank.
He's awesome, man.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. I think he's pound for pound the best fighter in MMA right now.
Ironically, I used to hate Volkanovski, and it's because of how much I loved Max Holloway.
You know you don't have to hate guys because you like someone else, right?
I hated him because he took the title from him. That's where that came from.
Yeah.
And then I also thought that Max had won that second fight. Then when I saw definitively that he won the third one, I'm like, all right, Volk's not that bad. But then he went and did that shit against my boy T-City, and it pissed me off too.
I thought you were leaving, Flynn. I didn't realize you were coming back.
Nah, so usually when the summer dad comes over for dinner, says I let him in, and I have like maybe 5-10 minutes, and I can go.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna do too much longer anyway. This is already about where we go.
Fight, then this is the last fight, and then send off.
What we can do though is.
Did you guys already give your opinions?
Yes. Well, I don't think I did.
Well, yeah, you can weigh in now.
Islam first round submission done. Boom.
That's a wild pick.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, like I said, what I brought up already was dropping the way he did in such short notice. I know that you said that
the injury.
The injury. I know that you said that, like, yeah, he's one of the guys who can do this drop down like that, but like, it's so short notice. Like 11 days is.
Not to mention, if you watch the first fight, like if you rewatch it,
yeah,
it was competitive in a sense that the crowd was behind him and he lost less convincingly than other people lost, but he still lost the fight like 4-1. Like it was not a close fight at all.
Yeah.
And now kind of like the foot's on the other foot where, you know, before Islam didn't rehydrate correctly or whatever, and now he is, and now you have kind of, you know, now Volkanovski has the one who has to lose a lot of weight and he might not rehydrate correctly. And I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of deciding factors that are going to go against him. So it's kind of like I just can't. I want him to win. I didn't.
Right.
I bet directly on Islam and I bet on Chimaev.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty safe bet just because of. But look, pound for pound, Volk's probably the best fighter in the UFC right now, in my opinion. But that being said, I just think you're right. There's a lot stacked against him coming into this. And then who is he? I think you were telling me he fights quickly after that. He fights someone else. Who's he fight after that?
He goes against Elia, I believe.
And how soon?
I thought that fight was made for December.
Yeah, that's a lot on his plate. You think he loses both?
January 20th in Canada.
Okay, there we go.
Hey, okay.
Those lucky Canadians get a good fight.
Jake, our honorary Canadian.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right. So I guess we've covered them all. If you want to do, I know you guys kind of picked as we went, but we want to do some quick, just who you got. Go back to the beginning. You said you got Saeed Nurmagomedov.
Yes.
I'm trusting Jake on this one. I'm going to say it as well.
Sounds good. And you got Alves, I believe you said. Jake?
Yes.
For that one, is there any specific reason?
He hates Russians, obviously. No. Well, he is favored, to be fair. Alves is favored.
He is favored.
That was my thing, as I said, I'm taking 2 favorites on this card, and I'm going to take And I'm taking the 2 favorites of the fighters that I don't know anything about.
That makes sense.
Just for safety on the parlay that I'm going to be making.
I actually agree
This
with
one,
both
that
of
one
those.
I'm going Akram.
Yeah, I'm going Ankalev on this one.
Same.
You're going Ikram. All right,
Yeah.
so yeah, I would write him down. You can write him down if you want, Jake.
And that's the one that I'm going Johnny Walker with.
Yeah, I'm going Ankalev on this one. I just think Johnny's hot, but I don't know. I think he's gonna have a problem.
That was the one that I kind of felt like the worst whenever I picked.
Yeah,
Because Walker is on a hot streak, but
he is.
Ankalev is Ankalev. I don't think he's going to lose.
Also, it appears that Vegas is struggling with this one too. They haven't put the odds out yet, or at least they're not here. And I know who Jake has for this. Who you got for this?
Chimaev.
Chimaev. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Chimaev too.
If he starts targeting Usman's knees as well, like the fight could be over pretty quick.
Yeah, those kicks.
My thing today is like everything's gonna end quick.
He's like, I just want to be done. So we can
Utter domination across the board. Usman retires, goes into knitting instead.
Event over at 3:00. Let's fucking do.
No, it was insane because I watched the Believe You Me podcast all the time, and he said that when Usman was taking walks or doing jogs or whatever, he couldn't walk on the sidewalk. He had to walk on the grass because it was fucking with his knees too much.
Oh.
Something about going backwards up the stairs as well or something that was said.
Yeah, something like that.
And this title bout, obviously one of these belts isn't on the line, correct? Because it's a different weight class.
Only is
The lightweight is.
Okay, so Islam's belt's on the line. Yeah. You guys. Oh, you got. All right. Yeah. So you got Volk, correct, Jake? And I know Lewis has.
My heart's with Volk, but Islam's gonna win, and he's gonna make it look easy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bet against Islam until he gives me a reason.
He's gonna send him back down to Australia.
Down under. All right. So yeah, man.
And if anyone didn't know this, when it was Costa versus Chimaev, it was not. But with Usman versus Chimaev, whoever wins apparently has a straight title shot.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which sucks for Drakus. So.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yo, what? I know personally what you'd say, Lewis. But Lewis and Jay, what is the deal with how they treat Drake? It's like I don't understand why is he not getting the opportunity?
I think he's still hurt. I might be wrong though, but he was taking a break after that Whitaker fight, even though him and Adesanya had that run-in the ring, which by the way I thought was stupid on Adesanya's part.
That was crazy.
It was the most cringy thing I've seen like ever.
My thing is champions don't go into the ring against the challengers. It's the other way around. DC was in the ring, called out Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar came to the ring, right? That's how it should be. The champ never goes into the ring against the challenger. You stay in the crowd and you stare down.
Oh,
It depends. Because I remember back in the day, obviously this is boxing, not UFC. But Triple G went in the ring whenever Canelo won a fight, even though Triple G was the one who's putting up the belts.
Yeah. I think the real reason he did it is because between the two of them, they're not great at pushing a fight. So you got to do things to drum up.
But I mean, after that performance versus Whitaker, that was going to cost them hype if they were going to fight.
Oh, I agree. Except still, like leading up, they're just both boring. So he tried to I don't know. I think he tried to.
It was funny is that Adesanya was doing a stream and he was like, "Oh, this is what he gets for not taking the fight with me." He's like, "What? You wanted to fight an injured fighter? Like, he has to heal." Just like the Leon Edwards versus Colby. The reason that's taking so long is because Leon Edwards had to heal as well.
Right.
Love Rocky Edwards, the best.
Yeah, you are a big Edwards fan.
I don't know if I was like Edwards is gonna win.
Yeah,
that whole sad for 4.5 rounds.
Even though I thought it was cringe at first, and seeing just how much it's blown up, the kill shot dead thing just gets me every time now.
Boom, headshot.
All right, well, this has been great. We're back. I don't know if we're back to every week. We're gonna try.
If not, definitely catch us for every pay-per-view and any interesting fight night card. And Lewis, you are by all means welcome to this show anytime you want. You and Mike would probably get along pretty well because you have your hot takes and you stick with them and you give good reason. I like it.
That is some interesting brow control right there.
Right.
Saw that. Fascinating. Yeah, Lewis, you already know you can always come here.
Yeah, honestly, as soon as I figured out the whole issue, it was so much smoother. I could actually form sentences after that because if you talk to yourself and you listen to yourself, it's so awful.
Yeah, like you're hearing the beginning of your sentence when you're still at the end of it. That's terrible. Louis. Oh, this is Tim, by the way.
Timmy.
Timmy. Yeah, so thanks, folks, for coming through. I don't know when the next show is going to be. It might be next Friday. Might be 10 Fridays. I don't know. But we'll be sure to bring some info. Oh, we got Doggos in the back. Barry, my man Barry.
No matter what, though, for the foreseeable future, unless for some reason Will's sick or has plans, or I'm sick and have plans, sick, tired, or indifferent, we will be here for every pay-per-view card, and we will try to give you a slim update on what we thought of the card later on. And Will, I think next year, I think we should go ahead and announce this.
What?
UFC 300. We should try to live stream it, not put it up and show it, but us have live reaction.
I'd enjoy that. I'd love to watch it.
That's a little bit like tricky whenever you aren't, watching on the TV.
Yeah,
because the timing is going to be all off.
Yeah, it will be. But we'll still be able to add.
As long as you watch the same,
Yeah, that's true. Well luckily, we'll make it work anyway.
Luckily, I get all my help from Will, and if not, I normally find a stream that I can shoot to him. But we buy our pay-per-views, right?
Well, I don't. Not that way. So because I live in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Everything's on Fox Sports, so I can just turn on the TV, change it to Fox, UFC event, pay-per-view. It's perfect.
Oh,
I need
by the way,
I need that.
Took asking, Jake, before you leave, give me a 2-fighter parlay. He said, y'all ain't leaving yet. My man holding us hostage from the comments.
Man,
honestly,
I hate
Johnny Walker, Chimaev.
Yeah.
You think Johnny Walker Chimaev is the good? All right.
Yeah.
So there you go, Took.
I'm with
Johnny
Lewis
Walker
on that.
Chimaev.
I hope Took loses, though, I just hope he loses it all. I hope he does not win a single fight on Saturday.
Yeah, he'll just bet the next day. That man's a nut. Also, keep an eye out at some point for an unnamed podcast with me and
Eventually,
we'll figure it out. But we're working on some things.
Until then, UFC events, boxing events mainly as well. I'm a big boxing guy.
Yeah.
If I'm free, if you guys will have me, I'm definitely up for joining.
That is great. I'm glad you joined today. And this was fun. Shout out to everybody who joined in the chat. My man Dale, we had my man Brandon B-Nuts up in here. Tim was in here. Took was in here. And Coach, from what I'm seeing. That's all of them. Appreciate y'all.
Shout out to Facebook user.
Facebook user is always on point. Always here. Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah. Shout out to Domino's. I had some badass pizza earlier. Shout out to Lewis for making a great debut tonight. Will for setting up the show for us. Lewis, you'll learn to find out if you see me shouting out at the end of the show. I always shout out something fucking dumb. So it's a run-on joke that gets Will to laugh because he can't help but laugh at my dumb shit sometimes.
Man, shout out to Pizza Place. That's a great.
Hey, you got to. I watched King of Queens, and that's where I got it from. Freaking, it's old man says, local joint, Domino's. Domino's?
Domino's.
I lost it. But anyway, yeah, this was a great return show. Perfect card to have back. Will and I will, and Mike hopefully, and Lewis if he's available, we'll try to give you a recap of this sometime next week. And as always, thanks for being here. Hey, I saw a dog.
It's a big dog.
He's got
big dog.
They're all awesome. All right, folks, this has been great. We are back in the swing of things. Appreciate you guys coming through. Y'all have a wonderful weekend and enjoy the fights if you can. And I'm looking for the outro while stalling. All right, folks. Appreciate y'all. All right, brothers. I'm going to holler at y'all in the backstage right quick. Peace.
All right, boy.
Come on.